Hi guys, this is Dandelion Song, and I just came back to take another look at this, and I think I'm going to bring this up to the Manitoba Legislative Building, because the Trans-American Pyramid and the face of Matsuyu, I hope I'm saying that right, Matsuyu? I was calling him Zeus down here in San Francisco. I'll show you in a minute, but first of all I want to show you here, this is based from my last video, looking at the Moon Valley connections to ISIS in Washington, D.C., and looking at its proximity to the Bohemian Grove and the owl, because since the Pope is going to the Capitol building, which looks like it might have a sacrifice altar there on the owl, kind of brings up the other important dark uses of the owl by the Illuminati. So that's why I'm over here in Bohemian Grove just looking at the numbers. Well, there are some interesting numbers. The longitude is 122, and there is a double 28 in the latitude, plus an 11. So I just wanted to show that to you. But before I save it, let me show you. Let's go down to the Trans-American Pyramid right here. I showed you the numbers of the distances between that and where I had seen Vishnu. I'm going to call this Vishnu now. I thought this was Zeus. Now I think it's Vishnu. And see, his face right here has this alignment on it. Okay, there we go. Zoom down. So this is 4532, which oh gosh, you can't see it. Let me lay it down. I'll bring it in here. See, this is 4532. This is a 9. Oh, it changed when I laid it down. Now it's a 4528. Well, these really small movements are... Oh, I don't want to take your time up while I adjust this. It could be any of these, really. So you just have to be really precise when you measure this to try to figure out what they wanted you to find. But it is very close to a 923 or a 932. And let me pause this and get the length. Okay, well, I went from just these yellow lines. I feel like these yellow lines are set out here for us to notice. So I went as precisely as I could. Oh, it's going to let me adjust that. And it looks like 590. But it also looks like 588. And then I did lose my alignment there when I moved that. Yeah, now it's not even close to the 32. Okay, well, I don't want to spend too much time here, but I wanted to show you that this alignment, it goes farther out. As you can see, it's not a perfect heading from the face, but it does go to the Manitoba Legislative Building. Let me show you this real quick, because there's an owl here. So let me pause this while my computer loads it. All right, well, I have a few things loaded. I was looking at the headings of these wings. This one is in 1833 in the direction outward, and that's the digital root of that would be a 9.6, and this one just zoom in here. These are so short that it gets a little difficult to be really precise. And also, one thing I notice is if you do want to measure these, you have to be right over the top of them. So my measurement before, and now I'm not getting it again, was a 306.11, which I noticed was really, they might have been trying to do a 911 with that. So I will follow that one out, and then I wanted to see if this was a mirror over here. Wait, I think we do need to get the main alignment here, of course. It's not due north exactly. This is an important spot because this is a convergence of quite a few ley lines. Come on, let's try from here maybe. Okay, 160.61, so that's a 1661. The thing that I noticed about besides the 2 sevens and it being the way, the divergent 7 sign of Isis, in the owl I also believe is a sign of Isis. I think that the dark government, the dark secret government, is using an owl in a dark way. I don't think it's necessarily originally meant to be a dark symbol, and I don't actually think Isis was meant to be a dark symbol originally. So we have to kind of pay attention to all the twists and turns here. But one of the aspects of 1-6 and 6-1 is its church aspect, which when it pops up, you see that it's a religion, and usually I just put false in front of that because I think all religions are distorted to at least some degree, although there's clues in all religions. So this is also the same number that we saw in Philadelphia, which has the 2 phi's, and that the 2 phi's, just to recap a little bit, if you don't want to go back and see those videos that I made about Philadelphia, Philadelphia is a word that has 2 phi's, which to me means that maybe we should square the phi. When I squared the phi, first of all, I made a mistake, but after being corrected, realized that the .618 part of the first 3 digits, the first few digits actually of phi, actually I think the first 9 digits of phi stayed the same. Actually, now I'm pretty sure the first 3 ones. Well, anyway, these are also the same digits that we see on the Georgia Guidestones, the Dillon storm roof, and the 2 skeletons below the Hoover Dam. So that's why I'm paying attention to those numbers. Now, the Philadelphia train wreck had to do with this 160, 106 on each horn of the train, and the train was traveling 106, so that was 3 sevens, but it's also a little bit of a sign of a false religion, because it has the 1-6 and the 6-1. So I just want to point that out for your consideration. So that's our heading right here. And then as soon as you just move this, it's very volatile. So that's coming down. Let's look at it going up. I think if I use their monuments, it's easier to try to get the heading that they were going for. So it's probably a 341 or a 340 going that way, which is an echo of the 7 that we saw going the other way. All right, well, I'm just going to take a few more measurements. I'll let you know if I find something interesting. Be right back. Okay, well, I hope the numbers aren't too dry for people, but I used to not know what to do with the 25, and now I think that they are referring to pi, because pi is 16 and 9. So I think that when we see 25s, they're referring, it's one of their ways of referring to pi. So that would be coming from the right eye of this owl, that heading, or its right wing, maybe you could say. And then if you let me see if I can, oh yeah, let me move this. Okay, so also you could see here that this heading is a 7-11, and that is another sacred ratio that they care about. This one, going this way, is 69, and I guess I'll bring it all the way to here. It's a 696. Oh, let me move it, maybe. Or a 6977. This one might be just about the 7s. Well, so you can decide for yourself whether that's going to be a 6, 9, or a 7. Okay, let me pause it again. All right, well, we're back here in California. Just wanted to show you again the 56-96 distance between where I think the Bohemian Grove and the Trans-American Pyramid is. So there's another 696, and a 56 is an 11, and then you do have the 9 there, but the 9 plus the 6 makes a 15, which goes back to a 6. So I do want to take this out. I'm going to take this to Washington, D.C., so I'll pause it. Hold on. Alright, just want to show you that if I take the line to the Washington National Cathedral that, oh, my phone's ringing. If I take it to the Washington National Cathedral, that it is a perfect 74-47 alignment with the heading. So, you know, it just shows you that they're putting these things in certain spots. It's very precise, and it could mean that I found the right spot for where to set down that Bohemian Grove thing. I think I already showed you how this lines up with this owl, but let me just put it here again, and we can make sure that we see all the numbers. I want to also put it on the White House too. I can't remember how thorough I was in the last video. I still have the Solomon's Temple thing here. I'm not sure where. The other thing I'm not sure about, oh, it's not going to let me pick my thing up again. Oh, there it is where the Washington Monument is supposed to be in Solomon's Temple. Okay, well, there's that measurement. Let's go to the White House. I don't know where they're probably going to meet. So this is a 747 right here for the heading. All right. Yeah, the heading's nice and stable because we're zoomed in quite a bit. Okay, well, it changes when we get here to the Washington Monument. So it says 774, which is still, you know, July 4th, and the GD. And then there's an 8, which is, it could be a sign of the Ogdoad, the 4 original sounds of the Ankh and their opposites, or some kind of thing like that. I'm not sure what they're bringing in here, but we do have some 8 symbolism right here. Alright, so I just came back to Manitoba, and I just wanted to show you, there's a 9 and a 23 right here. I don't know, I think these are separate, but they could be the same. But what I noticed is this main river is called the Red River, and red is 9. I don't know what river is, I haven't done it. But they branch off right here, and this goes up to the Manitoba, right through Selkirk to it's the Winnipeg, right? Sometimes it's hard to find the names of these bodies of water. This is Winnipeg. I'm fairly sure. Let's just find one. Oh, I gotta erase my thing here. Yeah, that's Lake Winnipeg. Sometimes those aren't easy to see. So it comes down. And, you know, sometimes I could be seeing things, but to me it looks like they might have drawn a head here on Selkirk. And I do need to look more maybe at the meaning of Kirk if they did that. But here it's interesting that at the top, because Manitoba is on a place where all the ley lines converge, and supposedly this Manitoba Legislative Center is a replica of Solomon's Temple, and I do kind of want to lay it over there. But I also pay attention when I see the water, here's 23, rising up through the central part of what could be a man. And you may see his nose and his chin right here, and his hair. And so there's this river, and this is the Red River, and it comes right up through the center of him. And, you know, I didn't draw these yellow lines out here where they put these roads. They did. So this these could be legs that come down here. I might draw this out. I'm not saying this guy is really here. I'm just saying it's just interesting that we have a convergence of the ley lines here. We have an owl, and we do have an owl, as it would turn out. If this was a man, if you follow this leg up and the head in the proportions, we do have the owl exactly at the place, you could say, of his creative center, his second chakra, and that is also the divergence of the river right here. So there's some plumbing symbolism, you know, in more than one way. Just showing you the little extra triangle they put here. Sometimes they will go ahead and name the street. So I'd like to take a look and see if they actually are brave enough to name the street. And I don't see the name of this little river so far. Let me see if I can find a picture that will say. It's called the Assiniboine. Assiniboine. I don't know what that means. But I do notice they have a Kennedy Street right here. And then I saw the Assiniboine Avenue right here. All right, well, if they do have this guy, perhaps, you know, this little pictograph, if I'm not imagining this, and this is really here, it looks like they might have drawn one leg out here. They do this in time lapse when they do this. So there would be a leg going back here, see his calf muscle, and his leg that would go down to, you know, it's basically following the river. So I don't know who that would be and what it would mean. But I do think that they think of this building as a center of control. Solomon's Temple was supposed to be a center of control using ley lines. It was a ley line, especially ley line placed building. It had a bunch of concentric shapes, which is also used in the Ark of the Covenant, and also in the inner layers of the Great Pyramid, where people think that they put a dead body in there, but I think they put the Ark in there, and all of those, the outer dimensions to the inner dimensions, are precise concentric measurements. And I believe that they have this one especially placed right here, so I guess it's not too far-fetched that they would also put a man or a woman, I'm going to say this is a man though, pictograph here, and his male creative center would possibly be perfectly placed on the convergence of the ley lines. Alright, well, if I get time, I will come back and draw this person. I kind of think I'm imagining this, but then if I see, you know how they have the Kundalini where you rise the serpent up through the head and it comes out through your head, that's what makes me think I might not be imagining this one, that they might have actually drawn these yellow lines to actually put him there. So I'd like to find out who he is and what he's doing. Kind of looks like he's running to me. At first I thought maybe he was taking a leak. I wouldn't put anything past him, but one of the legs, as you can see, has a river in it, and this other leg also has a river. So those could also be seen as the serpent legs, and we know that we've seen, you know, say Typhon had serpent legs. Their Abraxas has serpent legs. I think that the picture of Zeus shows him with one serpent leg. I don't know if he has two serpent legs in the picture of him raping someone. I can't remember who it was. So, you know, there could be something to this. So I'll come back and take another look here. Thanks for listening, you guys. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you later.